Serenity is a 2019 film, drama thriller film. It's directed by Stephen Knight, who I'm not really familiar with his directorial movies. He's done a lot of very low budget films. However, he is famous for knowing. He's famously known for creating Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he's the guy who also created Peaky Blinders, I think it is, which I have heard was a pretty good show. And this film stars Matthew McConaughey, Jamon Hansu, Anne Hathaway, Diane Lane, Jeremy Strong, and Jason Clarke. Kind of a big cast. And this film follows a guy named Baker Dill, who's played by Matthew McConaughey, who plays a fisherman type guy who is making money while having tourists ride on his boat and trying to catch tuna and seeing sharks and shit. And while that goes on, his estranged ex-wife comes and finds him and tells him, kind of pretty much does a plot, or she's in an abusive relationship and she wants to pay him to take her husband out, who's played by Jason Clarke, and take him out and throw him in shark infested waters and kill him. And that's basically the synopsis. And I'm hold off there because that is not just the simple bleak synopsis as you would think it is. But anyways, this is a film that came out earlier this year. I've been hearing a lot of bad things about, and Justin has as well. Which, by the way, Justin's in this review. You'll probably hear him talk every once in a while. If not, you'll hear him laugh because I'm about to talk about something bad shit, something the biggest mind fuck I've seen of the year. But anyways, it came out really early in the year. I'm pretty sure the first week of January, and kind of avoided this. This was pretty much in and out because no one went and saw this in theaters. I think it was taken out within a week or two because of the ratings. And anyways, now I finally got I was dreading this after hearing, a lot of bad reviews on this. And upon seeing this film, what the fuck did I just watch? is the question. I expected this. I saw the trailers, and it does give off like the unforgettable type vibe. A crime thriller where somebody's gonna, maybe a right for wrong thing, where if he's gonna really do it or not do it. That's what we got in the trailers. You couldn't be further predicted this movie. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, should be a good thing, but this was a bad thing. This movie was bad. And let me get into my pros. I guess on the originality part, I will say that this movie mind fucks you so bad that you just can't help but watch on how colossal bad it is. And what they put it in this film and how the story comes out just mind fucks you so hard you're just like tripping. It's like I thought I was eating while I was watching this film. And I seriously thought I ate something bad. I was like, damn, I'm fucking tripping balls. This goes balls to the wall. And I'll say for originality, okay, it didn't try to be standard. Maybe it would have been safe if they played it standard, but irregardless. And then some of the ocean scenes look realistic. I will give them that. I will say that while Matthew McConaughey's acting is pretty bizarre in this film, I will say that it was funny seeing him playing a film called Beach Bums where he was just like chilled out man. And then this part, he has times where he acts like Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. And I guess I could say that when it goes to that fucking level, that is kind of funny. Yeah, like there's parts where he's tripping out, he's seeing and hearing shit, and I'll get to why he's doing that. And he's just like, whoa, yeah, man. I'm like, the fuck? I don't know if it was. I mean, it's bad, but it was funny. Other than that, I don't know what to say about this film. So I apologize if I'm going to be all over the place here. So let me get in my cons. Where do I fucking begin? This is going to be a spoiler, unfortunately, because I can't talk about anything without spoiling it. That's pretty much this whole film. It's more than this. It's more than that synopsis I gave you, because let me get with the acting. Let me get the acting out of the way. Everybody, I don't know if it was improvised or some of the lines read, I think it was a mixture of both, but you can clearly see it. And when it comes to improvising, I felt like the actors were so bad in what they were given and what they were trying to improvise that their lines didn't go with the movie. Like they were saying shit just off the walls here. Like Diane Lane plays a character in this that's kind of had pretty much the island prostitute who keeps fucking Matthew McConaughey in this movie, and she just keeps on saying "kitty, kitty." Like you get what I'm saying when they say improvise, and they just let people say what they want. I just think that the director just said fuck it, say what you want, because there are lines that come out of people's mouths that don't go with the story. Like, yeah, man, you tripping? Oh yeah, man, I was going over there to the closet. I'm like, the fuck? I don't know what. I was like, a closet, and we're on an island. What the fuck is that? That does not make any sense. And like I said, there's a lot of characters in this, the actors, there's some talented people in this, and a lot of them are just should never been in this film. Diane Lane, she does Kitty, and 90% of her other lines are, yeah, that's a spot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right there. Because she's fucking in every scene she's in. Anne Hathaway, painful. Holy shit, was she painful. And I feel sorry for her because, like another character in this film I'm about to mention, an actor, she's been on shit after shit after shit. And she needs to watch it before she ruins her career. And her acting kind of remind me off of Who Framed Roger Rabbit with the woman rabbit.
Jessica
And they
Rabbit.
were doing scenes in this film where she would glow, and
Like
you hear
Jessica
this,
Rabbit.
and then and you would hear this oh, and then she would go, "Hi, honey, you haven't seen you in forever." The I'm just like this, and then I love Jamon Hansu so much, and almost anything he does. He has no purpose in this film. He plays the mate, which is basically the second command of the ship that Matthew McConaughey, which is called Serenity, he ends up out in the ocean doing his thing with. And this pretty much the only thing he plays is the guy who pretty much plays the angel on the shoulder, telling you, don't do that. Do the smart way. You can ruin your life. I'm kidding you. These lines are that bad, and I just don't understand where this fucking movie's going. So, and then Jason Clarke, fucking horrible. He plays a character who's a fucking asshole, but at the same time, I don't know what the fuck he's really there other than just to be silent, say shitty words by calling somebody a bitch. You're a dumbass, you idiot. And then he gets beat up, and he basically just doesn't talk for like pretty much a whole 15 minutes of the movie other than go, hey man, what are you doing? Hey man. And he's not American. He's supposed to be playing an American businessman, and his actual language, native language, goes in and out. Like every other word. Like in American, he could say the, and then in his real language from where he's from would be like, I think, what is he, Justin? British, Australian?
Australian.
Australian. He would go from American on the, and then boat in Australian. And then the next word would be in American. Like, the inconsistency is so bad. I just wanted him to shut up. But let me get into another problem, and this is a big one. The writing and the screenplay and the editing and so on and so forth. I'll just blend it all together. This movie is nothing more than scenes. There's a bar scene. There's fucking. There's scenes where he talks to his wife and a boat. That is, those four things go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you see it formatted like that. It's pathetic. They have this film goes balls out there. We start seeing this. What really caught my eye is where the camera angles when they're going per scenes, and it started kind of reminding me of House of the Dead. Where do you remember how it spins? You know how it does that, Justin, in House of the Dead when they're showing the players?
Yeah.
They actually do that when they're doing scenes with Matthew McConaughey hearing voices. Where the camera spins like in a video game. It does that. I kid you not. I'm like, okay, something's going on here. And man, this film goes bizarre. It starts off when you start seeing this Jared Fogle looking motherfucker, by the way. If you guys don't know who that is, that's the pedophile that was a spokesman for Subway. He's played by Jeremy Strong. He looks just like Jared Fogle in this movie. It creeps me out. And he plays this guy in a suit, and he shows up in every other scene. He's standing there like the fucking Shape. And he's trying to get a hold of Matthew McConaughey. And then there's a scene where he's just waiting for him to come back so he can talk to him. And you think that he plays an important role. And basically, he's there because he's called the Rule Man. And you find that later on in the movie. And you're like, what the fuck's the Rule Man? Get that in a second. But there are scenes with this guy where he's just so fucking bizarre. Like there's one part where he wants to go and talk to Matthew McConaughey. He realizes he's too far in the ocean. He takes off his shoes, right? Because he's gonna step in the water. So he doesn't get probably his suit and shoes. I kid you not, he takes off his shoes and then he walks in and he keeps going underwater. Like he's gonna do some fucking Aquaman shit. Where you gonna walk out to the bottom of the fucking ocean and then pop up to his fucking boat? I'm telling you, you might think I'm really incoherent with how I'm reviewing this, but this is seriously how this movie is edited like this. And then there's scenes where he's drinking, he's hearing voices. Then you start seeing images of his son. He hasn't seen his son since his son was probably like 5. He starts seeing images of him. And then he starts having dream sequences where they're doing the whole video game thing where it's going around his head and he falls in this water butt naked. Matthew McConaughey does. And he sees his son pull some Jason Voorhees type shit. And he goes up there and goes, oh, and then he wakes up. And he realizes that his table is wet. And then out of nowhere, they introduce us to this kid. And it just comes out of nowhere like, where the fuck? Who's that? And he's playing on computer. And then his table's wet. And they're touched in the same spot. I'm like, hold on here. What the fuck am I watching? And then you start hearing video game fucking scores playing. Like, and the scores are misplaced throughout this whole entire movie. Like, you have scenes where they do this, like, where you want to hear the dialogue and hear the people talking, and you can't hear it because you have the score that kind of remind me of Dark Knight Rises. The, oh! And you're like, the fuck is this? Damn, I can't hear this. And basically, the rule guy comes in and says, you're in a video game.
The fuck?
Yeah. He goes, we don't know the rules. And then he starts realizing everybody on the island is in on this. And they're being told to stop him, I think. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments, because I don't know what they were trying to do here. But there's some people trying to stop him from killing the guy, and there's people that don't want him killing the guy. Or was he not meant to kill the guy? But there's people that knows about his plans because the wife, like I said, the synopsis goes back to the synopsis of him she wants to pay him to kill the abusive husband. And that's the plan. And he's pretty much second guessing, should I not? And there is you come to find out that they had a son together, him and Anne Hathaway. and that you learn that Matthew McConaughey was a war vet, and he served in the Afghan Iraq War, and he kind of lost his mind, and they kind of divorced, and she went on and got with somebody else that was rich. So you start thinking, okay, is it possibly that he's a nutsoid war vet that's losing his marbles? Okay, maybe it's all in his head. And then you start seeing more scenes of his son, and you see there's another story being told, and you see him coding things, and it's finally revealed that he's actually not seeing shit. He is indeed in a fucking video game.
That's so bizarre, man.
This movie ignores its own synopsis. I kid you not, about the whole killing the guy. Up until the fucking end, he decides that I'm gonna fucking change the rules of the video game. The rule maker's like, you can't do that. You must not.
I got none of that vibe from the trailers.
I'm fucking not playing with you here. So he decides to break the rules, change the game a little bit. He gets with Anne Hathaway, and they meet, and they talk about planning on doing it. And you get this bizarre scene where she's just basically trying to tell him, like, her and their son are connected telekinesis level. So this introduces another subplot. Is he in a video game? Is this a thriller? Is this a fucking telekinesis poltergeist film? Is this a Jason movie? Is it a fucking hockey mask thing gonna pop out? Is it a fucking Jaws movie? Is it Unforgettable? What the fuck am I watching here? It's all of that, and I'm still going. And then we get to the climax where he does the deed of doing the man. And while this is going on, you're seeing this other scene where this boy ends up picking up a knife and stops coding the game. And he goes and stabs Jason Clarke in another alternate world.
Oh, fuck.
Well, Matthew McConaughey kills Jason Clarke in his world. And it's come to find out that in the end, Matthew McConaughey's been dead all along. He was killed in the war. And that the kid went nuts by losing his dad, and the fact that his mom was in an abusive relationship, that he created a game because he knew his dad was indeficient and he was inefficient. So he created a world where he can be with his dad.
Whoa.
Which, by the way, I did say that earlier in my pros, the ending I was a little mixed on more than hating it. I get what they were trying to do. I guess they were trying to create something where it was more about the kid than it was Matthew McConaughey. It's just that little trick did not pan out good because that 3/4 of the other part of the movie doesn't make any fucking sense to lead up to that. If this would have went to a more writer and talented director, this could have been potentially had a pretty good twist. But This guy is only known for TV shows, which probably explains the scenes where I did hear score and it sounded like I was watching One Life to Live with soap opera, and it just didn't make any sense. But yeah, so the kid goes to prison for murder, and you start seeing where he gets to live inside his mind with his father for the rest of his days. That's the movie. And if you have taken acid, you're tripping out now, I'm sorry. This was bad. I don't know what to say. Like I said, there was a couple things I did enjoy, and I will appreciate the trying to be batshit crazy, original, and all that stuff. And because of how unpainfully, but it was kind of like Fanatic. I was laughing at how bad this was. So I think that saves it from getting in the top 10 worst for me. And with that being said, I'm going to give this film a very, 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 very low disaster grade in the Film Freaks meter. And I think I'm being way too nice on that.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like quite something, man. I mean, this is a film that when I first saw the trailers of it, I just kind of figured based on the trailers it was going to be like your typical, maybe this dark, like gritty, like husbands trying to, or
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's trying to
I
like
was
screw it.
shitty, like unforgettable, like type level.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad. I mean, it might have been safe to play it safe like that, but at the same time, I do give it credit for trying to do something where you didn't expect it. So I give credit there because that's something I didn't expect, and there ain't nothing I like more than being surprised. So
yeah, and
it's
then
just bizarre. And I'll
now
tell
it's
you right
got
now, if you're smoking weed, if you're high, or what's your poison, if I was sitting there, I'd be like, what the fuck, man? Am I tripping? Because it does go on that level. It's
yeah,
crazy mind fuck. Probably the most mind fuck movie I've seen all year, probably in a long time.
yeah,
So
it's
that's my review. Serenity.
yeah, that was quite that now you've actually got my interest because now you're telling me instead of looking at like a Fatal Attractionist like thriller type movie they're going for, it basically is trying to do they took Ready Player One's plot and crossed it with Jacob's Ladder because the plot you're telling me it's basically like if they did a different type of remake of Jacob's Ladder with the whole Gulf War or like war veteran like kind of thing and it's basically revealed the whole twist about it. This is
Yeah.
basically the unofficial
It's like Jacob's Ladder, Jaws, because they have this whole thing about sharks. Um, Fatal Attraction, Unforgettable, Ready Player One. This guy pretty much went in every genre known to man. Hell, he even fucking found Black and White Three Stooges and put it in this. I mean, I'm telling you, this thing had everything and just threw it in a blender and said, okay, give me every genre of every type of movie like this and throw it in a blender and let's make a movie and just tell people to say what they want to say. Like, this movie made no fucking sense. And I will say that it was hilariously bad. And there was something I also forgot to bring up. There was also the subplot where everybody's telling him to catch the big one, meaning he needs to catch this tuna. And it's actually forgotten. And it ends up leading to believe, did the shark or did the tuna kill him in the Matthew McConaughey's reality?
what?
And he called him Justice, by the way. Matthew McConaughey calls him Justice. He named the tuna Justice.
Wow, are you sure this
Yeah,
this movie
everybody ends up feeling that they're saying everybody in this reality somehow reveals that they are saying their lines because this kid created a game. So everybody knows they're in a reality game. So that
so
makes
it's
no
also
sense.
well
Especially since Matthew McConaughey on this island with these people forever. And two, we come to find out that Matthew McConaughey lives in this place called Plymouth, and this is the only island that exists in the world. There's like he looks at a map and there ain't no other parts of the world. There ain't no other continents. It's like one little island and that's it. It is like all ocean, like water world. Yeah. I kid you not, it's like 30 movies in this fucking movie. And it just like, what the fuck? So that's my review of Serenity.
fair enough. It also kind of make did it kind of have like that weird batshit kind of craziness like Beach Bum did? Because that was another McConaughey movie you saw with
Well,
that
Big
same kind of
Beach
level.
Bum, I think Beach Bum was more secluded, just there to be a stoner party movie. So not that fucking. Beach Bum was definitely far better than this. So
Fair enough. For those of you who have also seen Serenity, and not keep in mind this is also not to be confused with the other Serenity from based on the Firefly TV series. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it, and feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. And if you like what you see here, check us on other reviews, and we'll see you guys later.
later.